Alright, here we're going to show you an easy way to do a quick spatchcock turkey, perfect for Thanksgiving, Christmas. First thing you're going to do is want to get sharper kitchen shears than what I've got. These ones were a little slippery. They weren't the sharpest, so it's a little tough getting through that spine, but you want to kind of divide that back into two pieces. You'll see on each side of the spine where you want to dig in with the kitchen shears, cut your way straight through. Guys have been able to do this with sharp chef's knife, but it's much easier to spend the $10, $15 on some kitchen shears. But these ones were sloppy as could be. Probably would have been a little smarter if I would have grabbed some paper towel, dried my hands a bit, but I was kind of in a rush doing this. We had some hungry mouths to feed, so figured we'd zip through with the kitchen shears the best we could, get them down. So here you can see I'm just about to the end of this first side. Skin's acting up a little bit because it's a little rubbery, still a little moist. It's a little bit easier if you'll pat down the skin with some paper towel, get a little drier. And you can see I moved over probably about an inch, grab the side with the clippers, start cutting through the other side. So you get about a 1 inch thick spot where the spine is, and you're trying to cut that. It's going to make it easier to spread the turkey out, get the full spatchcock. By spatchcock it, you're going to be able to cook it a fair bit faster. As I said, little paper towel, dry things up probably would be the better way to go. It's so slippery, I was having trouble holding onto the shears. Always watch your fingers and stuff as you're sliding through. You can see where I just can't hold onto these shears. Everything's so slippery. So the key once you get this through is to be able to get it to spread it out. You'll see that here momentarily. Just getting through, I couldn't get a good enough grip to get the strength to get in. Just kind of separate a little bit by hand. You can see where I missed spots with the shears. Just using them as it's a bit of a knife there. That's the key with anything. No matter what, get yourself proper tools, and knives especially, make sure they're good and sharp. You're less likely to cut yourself with a sharp knife. Sounds crazy, but realistically, once you're around a knife enough, you will know. So we're just going to fully separate that back piece. But I like to keep that on the neck. I usually throw it into a pan, put it underneath the turkey, fill it with water, and some of that water will cook off. But that back piece in the neck, you can see that's going to go in. That's going to make some great turkey stock afterwards. You get the drippings underneath from the turkey, as well as the water cooking, that stuff kind of parboiling in there. Going to give you a really flavorful broth for some turkey soup. I like to keep it. I make a big batch of turkey stock. Use some of it for gravy, and some of it to flavor with the stuffing. Really get the turkey drippings in there. So you can see we're going to crack the ribs out, or the back of it. Try and spread it as even as possible. Get all of it spread out, put it down, give it a push down on the breastplate. Then we tuck the wings underneath this to prevent them from drying out while cooking. Adds a little bit more protection to the wings and gives you a nice crispy skin still, but without overcooking it. Then I'm hitting it with a couple different seasonings. What I want to do first, though, I'm going to go underneath that skin in the breast. So I've got the seasonings that I use to about a 1/4 cup worth of butter. I'm going to mix that up. I've got some butter soffits. I've got some of our chicken fix and some of our maple fix. I wanted a little bit of savory, a little bit of spicy, a little bit of sweetness. So what I'll do is I gently pull back the skin on the breast meat, get that pulled back so that I can apply some of that butter in there. The butter, the seasoning, none of that's going to penetrate that skin. So it's going to be a little bit tough to get some good flavor into that breast meat. So what I'm going to do now, like I said, about a 1/4 cup of butter mixed in with probably a tablespoon of each seasoning. Give it a good mix, and then I'm going to take half of it, and I'm going to take half in, smother it all over the breast underneath there, underneath the skin. Like I said, that seasoning is not going to penetrate the skin. So this allows us to get some good flavor and moisture, some richness, some sweet, some spicy, some savory, everything right in on the breast meat itself. Give it full flavor. Then I'm going to gently pull back that skin, rub some of that butter and that seasoning over the edge. It's going to help crisp up the skin later on. A little bit of moisture to it. Like I mentioned, the seasoning's really not going to penetrate the seasonings. So I'm going to give it a coat. First off, I'm going to do a little bit of our chicken fix, I like to get some of that in. It's going to get a little bit of savory, a little bit of spice to it, but I don't want to go too heavy. Don't want to make it too spicy for everybody. Then I come back with some of our maple fix. That's going to give me a little bit more color and some of that sweetness, some of that Canadian flavor of the maple. It's going to get in, get us a good balance of flavors, a bit more color. I don't want to go too crazy with it. Here we can see we throw it in the smoker. We're at about 300 degrees. I'm cooking in a drum, in one of our awesome drumbos. I want that skin to crisp up. We're sitting about 150 degrees. We're close to 2 hours in. I'm going to spray it with some canola oil or some duck fat, whichever you prefer. That's going to really help that skin crisp up. Here as you can see, we pull it off. Nice. This was actually so tender when the legs fell off, I kind of put it back on here. So we're going to try and get in the joint with a knife. Now this is why I mentioned a sharp knife earlier. Much better with a sharp knife. But of course, I wasn't that well prepared here, so you can see I just pulled that one off. That other one fell off like nothing. Now I'm not the greatest at this, but a lot of people, you can see, they'll come in from that side bone. So I take a little bit of that wing off. It wasn't cooperating with me, so I decided to just kind of run slices across the breast. A lot of people will do it like this. I have yet to master it, but if you got any tips, I'd love to hear them. Come in multiple times on the side, going horizontally. That way when we come in on a vertical cut, we're going to have a little bit easier slices as it comes apart. Like I said, I'm not a seasoned pro at this, so my first attempt on this side of the breast just wasn't the greatest. But it gets a little bit better pieces, easier to come across. A little easier to slice it that way to get some even sized slices. This turkey was really moist, really good. We just kind of flaked some of it off here and admitted defeat on this first half. Went at it again on the second side, did a little smarter. Came in and there was one part of the knife there you can see that was a bit sharper, made some nice even slices in. So that's what we did. Horizontal first, then we hit the vertical. That gave us a little bit more. You can see as it comes off in there. You can see that skin pulled apart so nicely. Lots of flavor. The skin was crispy. You can see the breast meat, there's a lot of juice to it.